Welcome back to Final Fantasy V. So, last time we got the Earth Crystal, and then we didn't go over the jobs because that was a whole ordeal, and I kind of just wanted to let it end off on the note that it did. But hey, we're here to talk about the jobs now. So, for the most part, all of the jobs we're going to talk about are ones that have kind of appeared in some way or another, at least for the vanilla set of classes. Because that one includes Dragoon, which, damaging class, has jump, very good with spears. Dancer, which, I think I do prefer having Dancer earlier, because it's a lot more interesting to have Dance as an ability early on. Whereas now you have, actual strategy you could be doing with your jobs, so it's weird that they save Dancer for last. But considering how Swords Dance works, maybe that was for the best. Samurai, which is another high damage dealing job, just have a whole lot of good physicals here. And Chemist, which once again is the weird one that's very based off of items and item usage, which is not my cup of tea, but they can do some pretty powerful things if you actually know how to use them. Alright, so that's it for the vanilla classes. Next up is the Geomancer, which we would have gotten earlier normally, but in this hack we get it now, which I guess makes sense. It's the Earth Crystal, I'm getting Geomancer. Once again, Geomancer is kind of a weird one. It's got a whole lot of utilities, and it can also use bells, so if you really care about bells, well, you'd better use Geomancer or, Freelancer. For some reason, there's no use bells ability. You can't learn that from Geomancer, and I don't know why. Alright, so now here's the actual meats. Here are the ones we haven't heard of yet, because we are getting the other Game Boy Advance exclusive classes in this rotation. First up is Gladiator. Gladiator is yet another physical one. So, the whole deal with Gladiator is they're pretty fast, they're pretty tough, and they also have potentially a very powerful move in Finisher. So, Finisher doesn't always work, but if it does work, then you just do a high amount of damage. Hey, you wanna get 9,999 damage? Use Finisher successfully. It does, however, have some, one good utility in Long Reach, which is the ability to just hit with full power from the back row, which is useful on a lot of classes. A little harder to justify in vanilla since it takes a whole ability slot to use, but in this hack, it might be something you'll want to consider. Next off is Oracle, which is... Okay, so I'm gonna level with you. Oracle is a really weird class. Genuinely one of the best parts about it is that it has ABP up, so it's decent for grinding if you care, and since we're not most of the way through the game in this hack, it's potentially better. But the actual things Oracle does are somewhat unpredictable and have a lot of drawbacks, chief among them being they are just as likely to screw you over as they are to do anything to the enemy.
Yeah, Oracle is more or less the strongest mage class, so what they want you to do is take magic from other mages and put it on this class, but it also has to do something on its own, so they just gave it completely unpredictable magic in order to balance it.
They just said, good fucking luck.
Old chimpanzee with a machine gun approach.
And lastly, we have the Necromancer. Okay, Necromancer's another kind of weird one. So first off, it has Oath, which is yet another do a random thing ability. So much like summon animals, you just call a thing to attack, but in this case, it's monsters, and they're probably a bit stronger than the animals are. Just, a little less varied in their effects overall. It's more just for damage. Then you have their bread and butter Dark Arts, which is a unique list of spells that you're not going to find anywhere else that all have fantastic edgy names such as Evil Mist or Hellwind. Or hey, even Dark Flare, in case Flare wasn't edgy enough for you in the first place. And lastly, they get Undead, which is extremely niche as far as abilities go. And Undead is a status effect we haven't actually seen in action yet. Basically, the character becomes a zombie, which means, yes, healing will hurt those characters, but stuff like instant death will heal them. It's interesting. Again, it's just very niche. So yeah, overall, weird class, but I think out of all of the classes, given it does have that whole turn undead gimmick, it's probably the most interesting.
Yeah, it kind of falls in that problem of I don't know exactly what the use case for this is supposed to be, but it's cool, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. But yeah, otherwise, Cannoneer was the one we got earlier, and that's just, hey, you want to do a lot of damage. And then you have Gladiator, which is, hey, do you want to do a lot of damage? And then Oracle is just, hey, do you want to do a lot of damage, but with magic. So, I appreciate that they have a gimmick for this one. I also appreciate Bart's sweet skull mask. Alright, so yeah, that is it for the new classes, so on to the actual episode. So, X-Death is back. I don't think anybody's feeling great about that. Oh yeah, also, Dad died. Can never forget about the dad deaths.
Well, that's heavy. Oh god, Golif. Everything's okay. Just get back on the boat.
This is my thinking mast. It's where I do my thinking. My two options are look down and be terrified or think about my issues.
As an old man, I want to get as far away from emotional problems as possible.
Alright, so we're getting a little more backstory. There was a previous set of warriors, but they were Dawn warriors instead of warriors of light. They're completely different. You just immediately went back to your world. You can just do that. You needed a whole ass meteor to get here. How do you go back? I mean, yeah, but we also probably shouldn't have made big mechanisms that just sucked away the power of the crystals. Didn't help. Really, everybody's to blame for this one. Krill's just hanging out on the meteor. Grandpa, look! I can do 6 stunts!
The music's still kind of somber, so it's really jarring that Krill is just woo, woo.
She's just doing the kid thing of hanging out where you probably shouldn't. Just slightly too high up. Still a little dangerous. Well, it seems Golif is racked with guilt, and now that X-Death has returned, he doesn't want us helping him with what he sees as his problem. I mean, look, I guess maybe it was a little bit of a dick move to seal a warlock on somebody else's planet, but you know what, sometimes you do get a bit desperate, so we understand, Golif. Alright, and there they go. So that was Final Fantasy V. Golif and Krill have left.
Bit of a weird and inconclusive ending there.
And then we're just immediately back in the airship after all that. So the game didn't really tell us what to do, which of course means we must seek out and find the nerds. Though, before that... Oh yeah, that's right, there's also a cutscene for when you disembark the airship for some reason. You could just fly aimlessly for a bit if you want to. Yeah, so even though Gallup's feeling guilty, we don't care. We're all friends here. Let's go help him. Let's just go to the other world, even though it hates us.
Man, I wish we had this revelation earlier and we could have just asked Galuf to take us.
I would have said no. I'm going to be very stubborn about this. Quit trying to be friends with me.
Alright, so, while we do need to find the nerds, as always with Lena and Ferris's dad-related activities, there's something new in Castle Tycoon for us to cover.
I have terrible news.
We're just not gonna tell the Chancellor. He just gets so hung up when we leave. We cannot tell him, yeah, the king's just straight up dead. Rip to him, but we're different. Alright. Return of Tiny Ferris. New room. Yeah, you can't actually stand there if you want to. I think this cutscene's the main reason you can. They had to have that spot ready for Ferris to hide, as a scared child, who's like, oh, I want to ride the dragon. Wait, no, riding the dragon's terrifying, I don't want to. Also, dang, you two had a sick mom too? We need to go to Gallup's world and ask him, hey, what happened to that mom, though? Alright, and so that's it. Considering the fact that we're going to be leaving the planet, and also the fact that Dad is now dead, so we can't really have any more developments with him, that's the last time we can stay here for a new cutscene. No more to do after this, so... Goodbye, Castle Tycoon. Alright, now it's nerd time. Now we want to know what the plot is, as soon as I can just... There we go. Just gotta maneuver myself in there.
They really couldn't have made that a 2x2 landing pad, could they?
No. Absolutely not. Illegal.
Had to be exactly one tile.
It would be ridiculous if it were more than one tile. That would be so much ocean to just open up out of the blue. Alright, so... Sid and Mid have to return the adamantite, because I guess it would have exploded or something? I don't know.
They know that turtle is coming back for it.
Look, did we kill that turtle? Sure. That's not gonna stop it though, it'll be back. Better, faster, stronger.
It's just that fucking insane Tumblr post about, like, you get $700 million, but a snail is going to try and kill you. It's never going to die.
Unkillable, unstoppable.
If it makes contact with you, you die instantly. They know that's happening with the turtle right now. It's slowly making its way.
You don't want to fuck with the It Follows snail or the It Follows turtle. Alright, so here are our classes this time around. Time Mage Summoner and Ninja, so Bartz is gonna be picking up some damage-dealing slack since Gallif's no longer here. Nice thing about ninjas is they can dual-wield, which means I can put a main Gosh in his hand, so... What if I was just really evasive, though? Have you ever considered dodge tanking? Alright, well, if the Black Chocobo is here, that means Sid and Mid are here as well.
My god, its aura is just too powerful.
Jumping Christmas! I'm sorry Christmas is in this world. Sorry, we know who Christ is.
Christmas is completely different. It's a guy who is known for his high jumps.
I see. The legendary Dragoon. Christ Mass.
His full name is actually Chris Thomas, but over time it got corrupted.
Yeah! Victory for the nerds!
Also, we're not giving back the Black Chocobo. I don't know if you were expecting us to. We're not going to.
It's ours now. Sorry, not sorry.
Alright, so you have to go to the Tycoon Meteorite first, since that's where we got the Adamantite in the first place. However, the other 3 meteorites you can go to in any order, so... Let's go to the Waltz Meteorite first, just take a short tour of, all the meteors we've been to. Bonk bonk. Alright, there we go, easy enough. Whoa, wait!
Hey, I'm here too! How's it going?
Alright, so Pyrobolos. Here's a gimmick set of enemies that, count as bosses. There's the boss theme. So, the thing about these guys is, they're actually going to try and revive one another if they die. So, you do want to be careful with them, because this battle could go on for a very long time, and if that happens, they will probably beat you to death. So, if you want to do this a little easier, consider cutting their MP somehow, or killing them all at once. Basically, how it works is they won't try to do a rise until... they will use a rise, and then they will die. So, if all of them die at the same time, then there's nobody to actually revive until they're all done, basically. Or something like that. Also, they'll try to Kira as well, which is a pain. Honestly, would not expect this from bomb enemies. It's a lot of synergy here.
These are like anti-bombs.
Hey bro, you look like you're about to explode. Don't worry, I gotcha. Here's Akira. Now, as we all know, using Kira on multiple targets is gonna massively cut that healing rate down, so we all gotta use it one at a time, alright? Gonna do buddy system. If you get injured, heal your buddies.
Would mute stop them from casting a rise?
If they are weak to it, then it would, yes. Because it is a spell.
And can mute multi-target, or is it single target only?
Now, mute, I believe, is single targets. So, you could always try to stab them with a dagger that has mute on it, but yeah. Let me just double check. Oh yeah, and by the way, they can self-destruct still, if you were wondering.
But they're already out of MPs, so we're already...
Yeah, they're all dead. That was them trying to do that. Alright, so I double-checked they are not immune to silence, so that is a thing you can do at the moment. Forget if we have that in spell form. I know we have it in knife form, but yeah.
You have it in spell form, that's why I asked.
Okay, yeah.
Unless mute is different from silence. You never know when it comes to these video games.
Oh, that, mute is a time magic spell that just nukes magic entirely in a fight, including for allies. Alright, so, Karnak meteorites. Hopefully there's no annoying bosses hanging around here. Honestly, that was one of the better Pyrobolos fights I've ever done. Usually that's not exactly a wall for me, but...
It's a monsters. You do this for us.
But yeah, usually that fight definitely gives me trouble and I have to do it a few times, but no, I managed to run them out of MP pretty easily. And here's Titan, how's it going?
Hey, a bunch of scrawny nerds tried to come in here. Not having that one.
This meteorite is a regular den of monsters, and by that I mean there's a very large angry man in it.
He's real angry. He's kinda oily. It's very scary. Alright, so yeah, basically Titan is just a physical powerhouse. He's very straightforward. He tries to hit hard.
Wouldn't it be awesome if this guy was a spellcaster, though?
Yeah, I exercised my brain as well. Didn't see that one coming, did ya?
You know where I work out? The gym, because I study at the library. You don't work out at the library.
That'd be foolish, brah.
So... I'm trying to remember, can you do a certain... You are Earth Element. Okay, there we go. That's what I thought he was gonna do. So yeah, Titan does know, something akin to Earthquake, Earth Shaker. It's not... It's kind of like the, Pokemon games, where Earthquake is just like the better version of it. Be glad you didn't encounter Earthquake, because that might kill you. It was already powerful enough as it is.
Also, we stole him.
Yeah, we can summon Titan now. Alright, so there's one more meteorite left to go. Alright, let's just heal up real quick. We don't have time to go to an inn. I mean, we totally do, but I'm not going to. I'm doing fine otherwise. Look, Titan's Spite attack wasn't enough to take us out, but it definitely hurt a lot. But yeah, Pyrobolos went down without as much fuss as they normally do. Titan wasn't too bad either. Again, barring that last attack. Alright, and so what do we have here? More monsters? What do you think, Black Chocobo? That's been 10 seconds instead of the usual 5. Surely they are now dead. Alright, so what's in this meteor? Oh no, our nerds! Alright, who's got our nerds? It's a Manticore! Alright, so, obviously, not super difficult. Especially if you're able to fight the Dorm Chimera. This guy's not so bad. I'm just gonna crush him with that Chocobo, fuck you. But of course he does have Aqua Breath, much like the Dorm Chimera. But at this point, it's not nearly as lethal as it was way back when. And considering all you have to do is survive here, it's not too bad. Slow helps as well.
I like how 3 of the faces are snarling and looking intimidating, and then the goat face is just there.
Hey. I'm ambivalent about this whole thing.
I don't even want to be here, but you know I'm stuck with the other guys. I decided to go here, and I'm here.
Oh god, now I'm just remembering the one fucking Doduo comic.
Be strong clearance, be strong for mother, or is there a
Yes.
different one? Okay.
Yeah, the fucking Pokemon Fusion one.
Be strong, Clarence. Be strong for mother.
I love that comment because if I'm remembering correctly, there is one unique drawing and then he just like enlarges the picture and it's perfect.
Alright, we all leveled up. Except Gallup, he's not here.
And stop.
Oh god, I'm so dizzy.
That spinning was representing those two just running around the room going, ah, 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 ah.
I'm freaking out.
Alright, so, when all 4 meteorites are powered up, they all point to the eagle landmass, kind of in the center-ish of the world map. Alright, we don't have a lot of time before it closes, by which I mean we have all the time in the world up until we get to that point, so if there is anything you need to do on this world, go do it now, because we are heading out to Gallup's world, and look, X-Death can move freely between worlds, we cannot. So, I have done everything I possibly can, give or take, so... Yeah, it's a one-way trip. We're gonna leave our world behind, but... if it's for Gallup, it's worth it.
Probably won't be able to come back home. I mean, they do have a way to travel freely. You are friends with someone who has a method to travel between the worlds.
We're completely out of meteors. That was it.
Like, I get what they're trying to say of, like, there's no guarantee we can come back. They might go in and things go wrong, but this isn't as permanent as they're trying to make it out to be.
Alright, so with that, we're off. Here we go! The best friend squad will be reunited. Gallup has no choice in this matter.
What Sonic game does Sonic look like that when he's entering the special stage? I think I'm thinking of the animation in Sonic CD.